We're going to start the meeting of the Haverhill Republican City Committee, and we have all of 7 wards across the city represented. And I'm going to, first order of business that we start each meeting, we have our Sergeant at Arms, Ryan Nacy, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to have him come up. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good job. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. We got a good representation tonight, so that those who have come to Haverhill to visit know that we have a good committee and we're serious, and we want to do everything we can to help the party move forward in a year that we all know that looks very promising. And we can thank the folks in Washington for making it a good year for Republicans, who are leading all across the country in state after state. Before I come down tonight, I was looking in Louisiana. The incumbent Democrat is 4 points or 5 points behind the congressman who's challenging her. That's the same story all across the country. So I think we're going to see some great things. Good year to be running. We're hoping we'll have a full slate. We have terrific candidates running here in Massachusetts, and we're going to hear a little bit more from that. We have a little bit of business. We just want to go through it real quickly. I'm going to start off with our treasurer, Harry Yo, who is going to give us a quick report on the status of our finances.
Okay, our beginning balance was $102.43 last year at this time. We had the straw poll. We took in some finances. I filed our campaign finance report the beginning of the month, and we ended with a balance this year of $530.43.
And I jumped ahead. I want to have our secretary, Cheryl Ferguson, do a secretary's roll call of offices. Come on.
Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Cheryl Ferguson, the secretary of the Haverhill Republican City Committee. Thank you all for coming. This is our first official meeting of 2014, and hopefully we'll have a few more during the year. First, roll call. William Ryan is our chairman. Dodd Early. Present. Our state chair committee woman. Kathleen Amari. Present. She is our vice chairwoman. Harry Eo, treasurer. And that's it.
What about
and myself. And I introduced myself as the secretary. I am here, and I'd like to welcome Karen Polito. Thank you for coming so much to speak.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we've all heard the secretary and the treasurer's reports. Is there a motion to accept them as presented? And a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and we have accepted the 2 reports. You can tell, Karen, I'm a former representative. We all talk like that once we've been indoctrinated in the House, and I'm sure the Senate too. I did want to introduce a couple of elected officials that we have here tonight. Lenny Mirror, State Representative from West Newbury. And we also have a member of myself as being a city councilor, my colleague Colin LePage. Colin is also a Ward 2 chairman. He doesn't know it, but we did make him the Ward 2 chairman when he didn't show up one day. But we appreciate he's here. We also have 2 members of the Haverhill School Committee. We have the president of the school committee, just recently elected last week, Sean Toohey. And we also have the our newly elected school committee person, Mara Ryan Ciadello. And I don't think I've missed anybody, but those are all the elected officials, and we are really growing. We started from scratch a couple of years ago, and we're getting a real good committee with terrific people who really well represent the city of Haverhill. Now, with that, we are going to, of course, it's an important night to elect delegates. Dot Early is going to give a report at some point. In fact, I might have her do it right now, on the convention, which is very important. Every 4 years we have a convention, and we want as many people to go as possible. We have a lot of seats open, 37 seats here in the city of Haverhill, plus some alternates. And it's not easy to fill those, but we want you to think about, taking a Saturday and joining us all at the convention. It's a lot of fun, and you're doing a very important service to the people of the state by participating in putting together a slate of candidates who can go out and carry the message for each party, and with our case, the Republican Party. So it's a very good thing to do for the state. So I'm going to ask Dot to come up and give us a full report on the convention.
Thank you, Bill. Bill is my co-partner as state committee. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dot Early. I am your Republican state committee woman from First Essex, which represents Salisbury, Methuen, North Andover, Haverhill, and Merrimack. And I can honestly say tonight is our last night for electing delegates to the convention. The convention is going to be held in Boston at BU at Agganis Arena on March 22nd. For those of you who've never been to a state election and a convention, it is probably the most historic thing that we do in Mass, outside of doing the first in the nation primary up in Dixville Notch. We've done that as well. But for all of you, if you sign up as a delegate, you'll get your paperwork in the mail from the state party. The fee is $85. And if you get it in before the deadline, which is March 1st, it'll be $85 rather than $95. So with that, you'll get your paperwork. And if those of you who want to stay overnight in Boston, like some of us are going to go, you meet everybody from the First Essex and all over the state. When you walk in the room, your breath is taken away. You see 3,500 Republican delegates in one room, to the tune of guests and people who come there just as guests, probably 5,000 to 6,000. So I recommend all of you to try to stay if you can. The convention hotel is going to be at the Park Plaza in Boston, and the rates are $140 for a night, which is cheap for being in Boston for the convention. You'll be under the delegation for the Mass Republican Party. So if anybody has any questions, paperwork that has to be done, we'll get it done tonight and submit your names, and you'll hear from the state party. Thank you.
All right, and the next order of business, of course, will be, we've got a few speakers here tonight, and I'm going to ask, we'll start with the top of the ticket, and I'm going to ask School Committee President Sean Toohey to come up and to have a few remarks for our candidate for governor.
Thank you, Bill. Also, welcome again, Karen. It's great to see you once again. I'm excited to be here. As you know, I want to take this opportunity to say once again thank you. I see a lot of supporters when I ran for Senate, and I want to say thank you again. It's great to see you all. But as I said last meeting that we saw each other, I want you guys to keep in mind something that's very important. As we continue, as 2014 is shaping up to be a Republican year, as Bill just mentioned. The key to it, as I look around here, is to spread the word, as I said before. But stay committed. Don't just leave here tonight and say, again, here's another meeting. Spread that word. Say we have a great shot, because we do. We can do it. As a matter of fact, our slogan should change now. It shouldn't be together, yes, we can. It should be together, yes, we will. So let's keep that in mind, okay? I'm very excited. I remember watching Charlie run back in 2010. I was excited then. I'm more passionate today than I ever was before. A little bit of background, in case you don't know about Charlie. He's a former Secretary of Administration and Finance, former Secretary of Health and Human Services. As a matter of fact, we have someone that worked with Charlie, Diane Belanger Prescott. So glad to see you here and still committed. So thank you very much. Another key component in the private sector that I think people in Washington have certainly don't understand what that's like. I think they lose sight of it. Charlie has led the recovery on Pilgrim Healthcare to one of the most successful turnaround in that company's history. So he understands when a company is faced with economic hardship and how to turn it around. We need that type of leadership, along with Karen, to make sure that we continue in the path of success in providing an economic climate here in Massachusetts that, quite frankly, we haven't seen in a very long time. So also, not only in addition to that, he also understands on the local level, being on the school committee as a president, and Bill being on council, and Mara again being on the school committee, understanding he was a selectman back in Swampscott. So he understands on the local, regional, on that level, and how important it is with his experience. So I'm excited again to have him as candidate for 2014. I think we should really dig in, get together, unite is the key word, and make sure that we go all out for Baker 2014. Okay, what do you say? Let's get it together. Thank you.
The next order of business, of course, will be to introduce our guest tonight, and I'm going to ask Mara Ryan Ciadello to do that. School committee woman.
Thank you. It's great to see everyone here tonight. Many familiar faces and a lot of new faces. This group is growing. Like my father said earlier, we started with just a few of us, and I look around the room tonight, and this tells me that 2014 is going to be a good year for us. We have some amazing candidates, like Sean said, Charlie being one of them. I've met him several times. I know him well. He's a great guy, so down to earth, very personable, and somebody you can trust. So I'm thrilled about this campaign. I can't wait to get working on it. I'm hearing positive conversations through everybody's just talking about it. It's positive. The energy is great. So. Speaking of great candidates, we also have former state rep and former candidate for treasurer, Karen Polito, who is running for lieutenant governor. The Baker-Polito team is genius. When I found out about the two pairing up together, I was so excited. Karen is a mother, like myself, is dedicated, and she wants what's best for Massachusetts in the future, our children and our grandchildren. And she will do that. She will work hard, and her and Charlie together, it couldn't have been a better match. He did a great job in choosing her, and her as well, teaming up with him. And it's an honor tonight to introduce to you our next Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito.
This is wonderful. This was definitely worth the trip coming up to the border, almost the border. It's great to be with all of you, and obviously you bring your expertise from the House right here to Haverhill, and thank you for staying so actively involved, obviously, as you have the next generation in your family still committed. And that's really how I got started too. When I think about the lessons I learned growing up at our kitchen table, you know, I remember my great-grandfather who came here from Sicily, and he taught me how you just work hard and you live within your means. And my grandfather, Bob Lutz, who was one of the longest-serving town meeting members in Shrewsbury, always taught me just all politics is local, and you have to get involved if you want to make a difference. So it's great that your daughter and others are elected here. And then I sit at the kitchen table with my husband, Steve, and we have two children. Their ages are 10 and 8, and it's great to see Brian here, start us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. I instill those values in our children. But we talk a lot about what we want for them, their hopes, their dreams, what we want to see for their future. And we talk about our own upbringing. I grew up in Shrewsbury, which is not too far from here, about an hour, central part of the state. Had a safe neighborhood, a great school. My kids happened to attend the same school that I attended for elementary school. And we just want them to have opportunity. And as I get around the state and Charlie, we meet a lot of different people. And we see some parts of the state doing great. And then we see some parts of the state that are just sort of struggling and just not getting to where they need to be. And we also meet a lot of people along the way. In fact, just the other day, we met up with a woman who has a sick child. And she was, of course, sharing her story with Charlie in particular because of his experience in healthcare. And she said, you know, I was connected to a healthcare plan under our current system, but now I'm not connected to a healthcare plan under the new federal system. This doesn't make any sense, and I need help. Then we were talking with a young graduate from UMass, and he's got about $30,000 in student loans. He says, I just want a job. I want to work. I want to get on that path that my parents taught me. You earn your way and you get on that path. And I just can't find the job and the career that I want. And then you think about the working families right here in Haverhill and in Shrewsbury, where I'm from. And the people that I meet, they just keep working hard, paying the bills, paying the taxes, doing everything right, playing by the rules. And they just can't get ahead. And they just want to take that next step on the ladder and just just do a little bit better. And they're struggling. They feel stuck. And I sit back, and Charlie and I say, this is not the Massachusetts that we had growing up. And it's not the Massachusetts that we all believe in, because we believe Massachusetts can be better. It can be great. And that's why I'm running for lieutenant governor. That's why I'm teaming up with Charlie Baker. And that's why we believe that we are the best team to help move this state forward in the right direction. And so, it is about new leadership. It is about a new direction. And you are right when you're talking about the experience that Charlie had in the private sector and in the public sector, and myself too. I have the honor of operating, and I own a family business. It's a real estate business in the central part of the state. It's a small business. It's hard to make ends meet, but we make very smart and good decisions. We don't overspend, we don't overborrow, and we just put our heads together every day and just stay on that path. And as a mother, I certainly care about the future of our kids, and certainly as a public servant, we value and respect the good relationship we have with our local officials, having served as a selectman. And we need to do a lot better and have a stronger relationship all across the board with all of our cities and towns. So I come here tonight thanking you for all of your efforts working in a political circle here, with Dot Early and others leading the cause. And thank you for stepping up for a year that's going to be very exciting. And if we work really hard together, I believe with an open seat in the corner office, a lot of legislative seats opening up, people like Lenny Mayer and others serving for us will continue to get elected and help us a lot. For those that are listening at home too, elections matter. Whether you like politics or not, we happen to like it in this group, whether you like it or not, it affects everything in your life. Your children, your aging parents, your job, your career, your rights, your freedoms, your future. It affects everything. So you have to get involved, whether it's at this level or at least being informed as a taxpayer, as a resident of this state, so that you make good decisions about the people that want to represent you. And I can say to you tonight that Charlie Baker definitely wants to be your governor, and I want to be your lieutenant governor, because we want to dig in, build a team, get results, and make Massachusetts great again. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with all of you. Yes, that'd be great.
And we also, and I was going to do it early, but Lenny Mirror, our state representative that represents part of Haverhill, he's always very friendly about giving a report from the State House to give us a little update on the current session, and he has lots of knowledge. I hear him speak everywhere, so he can give us all any questions. They put them all to Lenny.
Thanks, Bill. Oh, yes, we did, in fact, have something fortunate to report. Yesterday, we just had sworn in the newest member of the legislature. His name is Sean Dooley, and he's a Republican. That makes 29 out of 160 state reps, and Sean's a great guy. Sits right behind me in the chamber, just got elected, ran a tough campaign. He replaced a seat previously held by Don Humison, who is a state senator now. So Don Humison was a Republican. He moves into the Senate, so we retain 4 Republicans there, and we get to keep 29 in the House. So that's a really fortunate. Thank you for reminding me, Karen. But yeah, we had a late night last night at the House. We voted on a transportation bond bill. Went to about 10 or 11 o'clock last night. That was fun. But no, it's thoroughly enjoyable, and it seems like the past year just went by in a whirlwind. It was just a year ago I was running for election for my very first time ever. Never ran for anything in my life, and I was before many of you, trying to get advice. The first people I talked to were people like Dot Early and Mr. Ryan, because they have been there before. I didn't even know them when I ran. But the first thing I did was I reached out to people like them to say, how do I win this election? How do I win votes in Haverhill? And I couldn't have done it without them, honest to God. But in reference to the big race coming up, part of my stump speech that I would talk to people about when I was running was I would talk to people about, especially when asked, why should I vote for you? I would point out that Massachusetts is the most one-party state in America. Democrats have 80% of our state reps. They have 90% of our state Senate. They have the governor. They have lieutenant governor up until he resigned a few months ago. They have the auditor, the treasurer, the attorney general, the secretary of state. Every one of those state offices is held by a Democrat, all one-party rule. And history shows one-party rule has never worked out very well, not at the state level, not at the federal level. It's starting to look like the Dukakis years. That was the last time we really had such a situation, and we're kind of migrating towards that again, something no one wants to see. And that's what this race is all about, with Karen Polita and Charlie Baker. I got a phone call about a month ago asking if I wanted to be district captain for that race. I didn't even have to inhale once. I said, yeah, I was more than proud. I jumped on that because I believe in that team. I'm from the private sector. I run a construction company. I've never been in government before. In that background, that kind of experience, I think, is vital. And that's why the Baker-Polito team means so much to me. And in closing, I just want to say something that Karen brought up about how elections matter. People are coming up to me furious about what goes on at DTA, Department of Transitional Assistance with EBT cards. People are furious about Department of Children and Family. How can this be allowed to happen? Why do we have people in there that just don't seem to know or care about what's happened to our children in this state? And I said, and I just learned that this year, is that the governor chooses who runs these agencies. It's not put through a committee. House members like myself don't get to decide yes or no on someone. So if the governor wants to choose a party operative to run DTA, which he did, he picked someone who was working for the Democratic Party to run the Department of Transitional Assistance, he can do that on a whim. And when you have one party rule, no one questions it. So when Karen says elections matter, boy, I can tell you, I'm learning more than ever, elections do matter. So I'm going to work my you-know-what off trying to get this team elected. Hope we can count on your help. Thank you.
Before anyone leaves tonight, Dot Early is going to coordinate all the delegate selection. Anyone that wants to be a delegate, you will be elected one tonight. We do have plenty of openings. To just give Dot your name and address. We will. She will forward that to the state committee, and then they'll send you all the documents and give you all the information. Anyone that needs help, if you can't afford to come up with money to pay for the delegate fee, you let Dot know, and we'll make sure that's brought to the attention of our state chairman. And we do want everyone to attend. We don't want any barriers. If somebody can't afford to go, we want to make sure that we'll find a way to help them to take care of that fee. And even many of us going in will provide a ride for them, and so we can have a real inclusive delegation going to the state convention. So don't leave. If you want to be a delegate, please don't leave until you give Dot. She's got 2 sheets up here, your name and address, and she'll take care of everything from that point on. I think that is just about concludes. Is there anybody that has anything they wanted to bring up that I didn't? No. If not,
Joe, who will be here tonight.
right. Well, one of our, Yeah, one of our strong supporter comes Joe Demore, who is a selectman from down in the town of Groveland. We did have a delegate from Groveland to come up, Eddie Watson, so I was happy he showed up tonight, representing Groveland. And it's nice to have, folks like our Councilor LePage and others to come tonight and to make this a very successful meeting. So any other business coming before us? No? Yep.
Anybody that goes ex officio, so that gives you another allocated.
Right, all elected officials go ex officio, so you're automatic, so we still have plenty of openings, so there are people who will want to go that aren't here tonight. If you know of somebody in your family or a friend that wanted to go to the convention, didn't come, please get the name to either me or Dot Early, and we will make sure that they go to the convention. We'd like to have every seat filled. Anything else, Dot? That's about it? All right, I would now entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, all those in favor, say aye. Those opposed, I like doing that. Yeah. If I go back to the House, I'll be the Speaker pro tem.